When you and Oppos, reusing water and suddenly a pipe cracks or bursts, most people and Oppos' first reaction is to shut off the water and immediately call a plumber. But what if I told you there and Oppos' a surprisingly simple fix that very few people know about? With just a few common household items, you can repair the leak yourself and get the pipe working again without replacing it. It may sound unbelievable, but this simple trick has helped many people save both time and money. Stay with me, and I and Oppos' LL show you exactly how I fixed it myself. No plumber needed. After shutting off the water supply completely and removing the damaged section of pipe, I took a close look at the leak. At first, the crack seemed fairly small, but that actually made it more difficult to work on. If I left it as it was, it would be hard for the repair piece to fit tightly and bond securely to the surface. So, I decided to use a pair of scissors to carefully widen the damaged area. It might sound strange, because most people would think making the opening larger would only make things worse. In reality, though, this is a very important step. It creates a cleaner, more even shape, making the next stage of the repair much more accurate. Once the opening was the right size, I grabbed a short piece of T-pipe. Instead of using the entire piece, I trimmed it little by little, carefully shaping it to match the enlarged opening on the broken pipe. After every cut, I tested the fit against the damaged section. This part requires a bit of patience, but the more precise you are, the stronger and more reliable the final repair will be. After several test fits, the patch finally slipped perfectly into place, almost as if it had been custom-made for that exact pipe. Seeing the contact surfaces sit flush with almost no visible gaps, I knew everything was ready for the next crucial step. And that and Oppos' were the real secret to making this repair strong enough to withstand water pressure for a long time will finally be revealed. Stay with me, because the most satisfying part is still coming. To secure the patch from the inside, I took a cotton swab and applied just enough super glue, 502 glue, to firmly attach it to the pre-cut pipe patch. This small cotton swab ISN and Oppos' T for cleaning. It serves as a temporary handle, allowing me to guide the patch into the exact position inside the pipe without it shifting around. It and Oppos' a simple idea, but it makes the entire repair process much easier. Next, I carefully inserted the patch into the inside of the pipe, taking my time to align it perfectly with the damaged opening. Once everything was in the correct position, I applied more super glue along the edges where the patch met the inner wall of the pipe. Every drop was placed carefully to create a strong bond between the two surfaces. This is not a step to rush, because even a slight misalignment could affect how well the repair seals the leak. Once everything was in place, I simply let it sit and waited for the glue to fully harden before moving on to the next step. While waiting for the glue to cure completely, I took the opportunity to prepare the materials for the next step. I grabbed a small piece of foam and used a knife to cut it into several small, evenly sized pieces. Each piece was trimmed carefully, because even a slight difference in size could affect the final result. At first glance, these little pieces of foam might seem completely useless, but in just a moment, you and Oppos' see why they play such an important role in making this repair stronger and more durable. And now comes the most important part of the entire repair process. I took the small pieces of foam I had prepared earlier along with some super glue, 502 glue, and carefully placed them into the damaged section of the pipe with steady, controlled movements. At first, I built up only a very thin layer, taking my time instead of rushing. Once the first layer had bonded firmly, I added another, and then another. Little by little, the foam pieces combined with the glue to form a solid mass, completely filling the damaged area. The key to this step ISN and Oppos' T speed, it and Oppos' patience. Each time I added more material, I paused for a few seconds to let the glue stabilize before continuing. That extra care helps each layer bond tightly, minimizing any gaps that could lead to leaks later on. Before long, the damaged section was completely filled, almost perfectly level with the original surface of the pipe. Once everything had fully hardened, I used a knife to carefully trim away the excess material, restoring the pipe and Oppos' smooth, rounded shape. Every cut was made gently to create a clean, even, and professional-looking finish. At this point, it's almost impossible to tell where the pipe was originally damaged. But the real question is, can this repair actually withstand water pressure? There's only one final test left, and the result might surprise you. After completing the repair, I reinstalled the pipe back into the plumbing system and securely tightened all the connections. Then came the moment of truth. I slowly turned the water supply back on, watching closely with a bit of anticipation. Water began flowing through the pipe under normal pressure, and the best part was that the damaged section no longer leaked at all. The repair held up perfectly, proving that with a simple technique and a little patience, you can successfully fix a broken pipe yourself without calling a plumber.